Governor Maura Healey held a bill signing ceremony today for the nearly $5.2 billion Affordable Homes Act, signing it into law to combat the housing crisis here in the Commonwealth. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Locree joining us live in studio tonight after she spoke with local leaders about what this will mean to people living in our area. Reagan.
Chris, this is the largest housing bond bill ever filed in Massachusetts at more than triple the spending authorizations of the last housing bill, which passed in 2018. I spoke with Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno as well as a local rabbi who's been advocating for this act to pass, and they both are excited about the opportunities this will bring to Western Mass.
It's a great morning for Massachusetts because today we are signing the largest investment in housing in our state's history, $5.2 billion.
On Tuesday, Governor Maura Healey signed the Affordable Homes Act, which is aimed at either building new or saving 65,000 existing homes with nearly $5.2 billion over the next 5 years, along with 49 policy initiatives to counter rising housing costs caused by high demand and limited supply. Some of those key spending authorizations and policy changes include allowing accessory dwelling units to modernize the state's public housing system, as well as boosting programs that support first-time homebuyers and home ownership, adding incentives to build more housing for low to moderate income residents, and supporting the conversion of vacant commercial space to housing and green housing initiatives. Governor Maura Healey addressing a crowd Tuesday before signing the bill into law. She says the Affordable Homes Act will help everyone across the Bay State.
We're a great state with so much going for us. But fundamentally, we know we need housing. We need housing for students who are graduating from our great colleges and universities, for seniors who are looking to downsize, for first-time home buyers, and for honest to God, everyday, ordinary, wonderful Massachusetts residents.
Western Mass News spoke with Rabbi Jeremy Master of Sinai Temple in Springfield just hours after the bill signing. As an advocate for affordable housing, the rabbi tells us this is great news and well worth all the time his congregation has spent lobbying for change.
I've heard from congregants about the rising cost of rent from many people. And that it's taking up so much of people's income that they really don't have money for other things, and it's really gone up very quickly in the last few years.
And Mayor Dominic Sarno explains to Western Mass News that flexibility is key when it comes to fixing the housing crisis.
Housing is desperately needed not only in the city of Springfield, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, really throughout the country, but the flexibility to be able to build, whether it's market rate housing, whether it's workforce development housing, whether it's assisted housing.
As of January, one major project that was put in place in Springfield as part of the Healey-Driscoll administration affordable housing development was residences at the Vault. However, Mayor Sarno tells us his goal is to have another 600 to 800 units available to residents in the city of Springfield, and he's hopeful the Affordable Housing Act will help him achieve that. Western Mass News did receive a statement from Mass Budget that reads, in part, the Affordable Homes Act is a meaningful step on the path toward more equitable housing policy in our state. It goes on to say, we know that no one bill can solve our housing crisis by itself. As we celebrate this victory, we must continue to work with urgency to establish ongoing revenue sources to meet our affordable housing needs and to stabilize all residents who are facing displacement and homelessness. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Locree for Western Mass News.